Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're looking at how to use your breast cup for your bustier dress instead of your normal padding. The first thing you want to do is to get a bra cup that is bigger than the actual bust size you're working with. If you're working with 38, you have to buy a cup of 40. Now, after getting your breast cup, the first thing you want to do is to join all the parts of your bustier pattern. You can see I've joined. This is the actual fabric, not the lining. Now after joining the parts, I open up the seam allowance, that's that joining allowance, and then I open it up and iron it with like hot iron. Make sure that it's like flat. Now the next thing you want to do is to safeguard your underbust. You can notch it while you are cutting, or if you do not notch, you have to like mark it after sewing. So this dress has a yoke, so I just removed the yoke part. Then I notched the underbust. You can see the underbust I'm working with is 13, so I mark it on both sides. Now after safeguarding your underbust, just notch it. So the next thing is to put that on the cup. Just watch how I'm doing it. Take it in, then fold it into two. After folding into two, you have to fold it again, so you're folding into 4 in this manner. Then that upper part, we're trying to get the midpoint, so you just notch that upper part. Now after notching the upper part, just look at the cup closely. You can see that the longer side is actually the down, that's the place that sits on the underbust, while the shorter side, that it's the upper part, right? So that's how you are going to tack it inside. So now we want to create a dart in this cup to make it more pointier and fuller. So firstly, you go upwards by 2 inches, then you mark, and then you go inside. After going up by 2 inches, you go inside by half of an inch. So you mark half of an inch going inwards, and then going upwards you mark 2 inches. Now we want to create a dart, like I said, so just take your straight rule and mark that those figures you mark, the ½ inch and 2 inches upwards, mark with your straight rule and go and sew on your machine. But first of all, you do it this same process on the other cup. So the same thing, this is just me repeating the process. Like I said, fold into 2 and fold into 4, mark, and then go upwards by 2 inches and go inwards by ½ of an inch. So after marking it, just take it straight to your machine and sew a dart. You know how you sew a dart? The beginning of the dart is like very slim, and then when you're ending it, you just follow the line you marked basically. So this is after sewing the dart. Look at how it looks. Now, like I said, make sure that that place is pointy. The beginning of that dart is pointy because that's what gives your cup a good shape and it can pack your bust very well. Now look at the outcome of this cup after darting it. Like, it's so firm, it's so beautiful, so pointy. Not too pointy, that's why I just went up by 2 inches. If you can decide to go upwards by 3 if you want, but I don't like it so pointy. Now this is the cup, so we want to go straight to tacking it. But before then, I like to trim off this allowance here that I used to hold the dart because I don't want it to be bulky there. So after trimming out that allowance I used to hold the dart, I go straight to tacking it. Like, this is so easy, guys. This is easier than using a breast pad, and the outcome is so sweet. So I'm going to go right into tacking it with my thread and needle. So you need a thread and needle to tack it. So I tack on the allowance line. You can see it. I'm making sure that it doesn't touch my sewing line for that particular place. So you just sew on your allowance line. Sew the underbust part first of all, that's this down part. So you can sew it on both sides to make it more firm. But me, I like sewing on one side and then the opposite of it upwards. So this is me just sewing on the upper part. Just make sure that your cup sits on that allowance line, and then take your needle to the upper part. Make sure that it is on the allowance line, guys. Don't sew on the other part of the dress because it's going to obstruct your it's going to obstruct how the cup sits on the dress, right? So this is after sewing it. You can see how firm it's very firm, guys. Not going to lose. Look at how sweet it is on the outside of the dress. So the next thing I want to do after sewing the first cup is to sew the second one on it. Now the same thing we did, guys, the same thing we did for the first cup, make sure you sew on your allowance line, and don't sew on the middle of the line, sew like on the side of the allowance line, like just on the side, making sure that it doesn't get to the center front, that's the actual fabric. So you are sewing on the allowance line so that it will not, because if you sew on the main dress, it will show outwards, right? So this is me tacking the upper part now. Like, this is so easy, guys, and the outcome is, like I said, so sweet. So after this, guys, you can go ahead to join your lining, and that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment, like, subscribe.